back to the All Purpose Pod for an All Purpose Life. Wherever you are and however you're listening to, they call me Mr. U in the Inspiration Station. Thanks again for making us part of your week. We're glad to be back with you guys. We're excited about what's happening. We're hearing a lot from you guys. Our social media platforms are very encouraging lately. We are experiencing a lot of positive growth, and your comments are kind of showing that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing what you've been learning and what you've been seeing. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to me personally. We had an episode recently called Magnus and the Rooney Rule. Excuse me. Getting tongue-tied this morning. Magnus and the Rooney Rule. I want you guys to check it out. It's kind of a connection to this one. Not really a part one, part two, but it kind of leans into this a little bit. But this is a saying that we hear a lot, and I don't know if we fully understand what it means, but we'll try to parse it out a little bit today. But it's a very simple saying, 2 words. Leaders lead. Leaders lead. Makes sense. I think we can apply it in pretty much any genre, any organization. I'd love for us to add 2 more words to that to kind of help us gain some perspective. Leaders lead. Let's add 2 more words to that. Leaders lead themselves first. Leaders lead themselves first. I want to ask a few questions, and of course, this episode is going to be pretty short today. I would assume. I hope so. But I want to ask a few questions to kind of stir the pot a little bit, kind of get us to think a little bit, because I think that we're challenged with the idea of us as leaders, and I want to try to get into that a little bit more. If you have any comments or questions about this per se, wherever you find the episode, whether it's on a YouTube channel or on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or even on social media, simulcast it. Drop your questions inside there. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. Share your thoughts. If it's of a private nature, send it to me privately. I'm happy to answer the questions. I'm happy to kind of help guide you to where you maybe trying to go in regards to the topic. I'm happy to help there. Just reach out. But first question, do you believe that everyone is a leader? Do you believe that everyone is a leader? I know that many folks that I run into, I connect with, I'm associated with, many of them don't feel that way. They feel like some have to be leaders and some have to be followers. Everybody can't be a leader. Love to hear your thoughts on that. Another question, are leaders born or are they made? I think it's a very, very important question. Are leaders born or are they made? Now, if you believe you're a leader, does the lives of those who follow you confirm that or deny that? I know that many of our episodes, probably more than 90% of those over the past 4+ years, are about leadership, because it's really important to me. Leadership, discipleship, spiritual growth and development, those things are of tantamount importance to me, because I know that in anything you do in life, I don't care if you are author of a book, I don't care if you are a daycare counselor. I don't care if you're a life coach. I don't care if you're a musician. I don't care if you're a preacher. I don't care if you're a podcaster. I don't care if you're a CEO of a business. It doesn't matter which one of those things you are. If we're not growing ourselves spiritually, everything we put our hands to, everything we touch, everything and everybody that we're connected to is adversely affected by our decision to do so or not to grow ourselves. Bottom line, we can talk about if you're a leader or not, and if that's something that is God-inspired or is that made through life experiences and coaching and training. We can discuss it. Not sure we have time for that today, but we can definitely get into it. But if you believe you are a leader, ask yourself, does the lives of those who follow you confirm that or deny that? Some may be saying, nobody follows me. There's a question to ask yourself there as well. Why doesn't anybody follow you? I really believe this, and this is it is from scripture, but I believe that this is a universal law, that we have an innate ability inside of us to draw people, to lead people. And we have something of value inside of us. If you do ascribe to the scriptures and to the Bible, check out 2 Corinthians chapter 4. 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. It will validate that idea very, very quickly. We have light inside of us, and we draw people who are in need, who are suffering, who are hurting. We do that without even trying. I know folks who even go to church that do that when they go to the supermarket, because it's not about what church we go to. It's about the light inside of us. It's about what God has made. It's part of our DNA. If you believe you're a leader, because the lives of those who follow you confirm or deny that. If people around you don't make you better, then you might need to be around other people. It's a tough topic, especially in this social media age where everybody's trying to build connections and build followings. If the people around you don't make you specifically better, you need to get around other people. Don't be shy about it. Don't overly apologize. Make adjustments. Make changes. That one was a hard one for me because I don't ever want to hurt somebody's feelings, but I had to make those changes. There were people around me that weren't making me better. I was dumbing down to their level, and I had to change my associations and get around other people. The whole idea of a circle of influence is such a crazy concept. I'm going to try to get into this a little bit with the short amount of time that we have. But do you positively impact others, or do you just hope that that benefit is extended to you? Circle of influences, people don't realize that it's reciprocal. You got to give as much as you receive. I see it on social all the time. People want everybody to follow them and crowd around them and sit at their feet while they espouse wisdom to us. But they don't give anything back. They want to do creative content and want everybody to join them, support them, retweet them, but they don't give anything back. They want to do shows and they want to do media opportunities and they want to have their face out here and their voice out here like somebody on TV or in the sports world, but they don't give anything back. They just take, and expect more. Critique you if you don't give them more. That's not creating a circle of influence. That means what you've been blessed to be able to do, what you've been fortunate to do, you desire to give it back and to have them give it back and have them give it back and have them give it back to them. And before you know it, you have a domino effect. And everybody's giving back because of what they've had. Excuse me. That's the whole point of a circle of influence. And in that way, we all lead because we all are taking advantage of the fact that we've been led. So we lead in return. But that's a broader picture. We can get to that at a different time. 2 real quick points and then we'll close the show out. Hopefully we can get there. I got so much I want to share with you guys. Number one, it's really simple, but number one, we got to discover our purpose. Now, I talk about that in great detail. I've coached and mentored folks in this area because it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I've been able to do that, especially in my previous coaching career. Discover your purpose. Now, it can't be understated enough. It's already understated already, but my old mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who has left us, he says it all the time, and I quote him ad nauseum because it's such a powerful quote. But it says, if the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. If the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. That's why we're giving instructions when we order stuff. Because if we don't put it together the way it was intended, we'll just mess it up. We got to discover your purpose. Discover your purpose. You can't live for others and ignore your emotional and spiritual needs. You got to live a life worth living. And if people around you are not feeding into the purpose that you discovered, it's time for you to move into a place where you can get that. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be so prideful that you won't ask questions. Ask for help if you know that you need that. A lot of folks are walking around not even caring about purpose. They're just living, and their lives may not be worth living. They may just be living and just kind of just in survival mode and kind of just going through the motions, reacting to everything that happens, but not fulfilling or having that forward thinking mentality to go where they've been destined to go. They kind of just go with the flow and, hey, wherever the day takes me. That's not living with purpose. That's not living with intentionality. That's leaving things to chance. And we can't live like that, especially when our souls are on the line. Number two, after you discover your purpose, we need to craft your life around what you discover. Craft your life around what you discover. These are not hard concepts, but we don't do these things on a regular, consistent basis. And it hurts us. I hear from people privately and publicly, and we don't catch these two simple concepts. That's why I'm sharing them today. Don't live it with regret. Not dealing with the hard things in life, like unforgiveness, resentment, misunderstanding, pride, and thinking you're right all the time. A leader has to recognize that they might be mistaken and then appropriately adjust. If you love to be coddled and you want somebody to control you, convince you to do something all the time, you might have a problem within yourself that needs to be dealt with. Are the people around you expanding your vision? If you aspire to grow a vision and be a leader in any area, you got to get comfortable with being intentional. If you're not good at leadership, learn voraciously, ask questions, read more than normal. Surround yourself with people who have done what you're trying to accomplish, that have grown, no matter how much they've grown. Surround yourself with people who are like that. And be humble enough to want to know more and to just not be content with what you already know and assume what you think you know, what you think you're seeing. Honestly, if you crave credit and appreciation all the time, you got to be hard-pressed to give it out. And if you're not, which you're probably not, you might have a problem in your soul. If any level of mentoring or counseling or coaching makes you uncomfortable, you begin to cringe and bristle as somebody asking you questions or challenging you, you might have a heart condition. The Bible says that iron sharpens iron. This is from the Bible. It's not from ESPN. It's from the Bible. Iron sharpens iron. Friends sharpen the minds of each other. Honestly, it goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning with the title of this podcast. Leaders lead. We got to add those two words to it. Leaders lead themselves first. You can't talk to somebody about how they're going to lead, critique somebody about how they lead or what they're doing, what they're not doing right, when you're not leading anything. It's hypocritical. Please stop doing that. Leaders lead themselves first. If you got your life in order, where you're in the right place, emotionally, spiritually, morally, psychologically, then maybe perhaps you could offer some advice to somebody else. But until you have done that, you're speaking out of dysfunction, and it's empty. It's empty words coming out of your mouth. So I hope this is not too much today, but if you have any questions about what we talked about, discovering your purpose and crafting your life around what you discovered, I'm happy to talk about it. Hit us up in the comment section wherever you find these episodes on social media or on your listening platforms or on our YouTube channel. Hit me up. I love talking about this, so it's not an inconvenience to me whatsoever. I love discussing this stuff. So let's talk about it. Hope you're having a great day. Hope to talk soon. Enjoy the music. Coach out.